Hi guys, John from Body Clock Personal Training and StormforceFitness.com. Today I want to show you 3 exercises which a lot of people do in the gym, or they try and do, but a lot of people get it wrong and that's why it ends up in injuries, or they're just not doing it properly, so they're not getting the most out of the exercise. First one is push-ups. Now, before you even think about doing press-ups, or push-ups as some people call it, you need to make sure you have the core strength to do it properly. Okay, what you'll see a lot of the time in the gym is people doing this sort of thing, backs going, and then they're almost doing like the worm you used to see in the disco back in the 70s. The key thing here is you need to be working on this area first, get this strong, and then worry about your push-ups. You've got no right to be trying to do a full push-up if you can't keep your back straight. So first of all, work on planks, okay? Looking to keep this area really, really tight, bracing your stomach tight. I'll tell people, imagine I'm going to kick them in the stomach. Obviously I'll never actually do it, but you're just going to tighten up your stomach and hold that position. Once you've got that kind of strength and you can keep your back straight, keep your core muscles turned on, then you can actually progress onto the push-ups. Now, to get the right position with the push-ups, there's a few things you need to think about. The best way to do it is lying on the floor. Get your elbows level with your shoulders, with your elbows at 90 degrees, then you're going to replace your elbows with your hands, and then turn your elbows up. And that will put you in the correct position to then go into your push-up. And like I said before, we're keeping the core muscles really tight, so my back stays flat. If you're wondering what to do until you've developed enough strength, that is when you can just use your knees. There won't be quite so much pressure on your core and your lower back muscles. Stay on your knees and do push-ups, again using the elbow and shoulder position as I said. Okay, the next exercise we're going to look at is the squat. Now, most people can't do squats properly, and unfortunately it's an exercise, because it is a very good exercise if you know how to do it properly. It gets used in classes, for instance body pump, where they're not taught how to do it properly, and then people wonder why they get injured, end up with bad backs. This is something you typically see in body pump, is bar on the back, or worse, sort of, right up on the neck, so it's not in the right position to start with. Even if you get the bar in the right position, we see a lot of this where there's not enough mobility in the hips because people don't work on their flexibility enough, and you see a lot of kind of leaning forward and that kind of movement. The squats, if you're doing a back squat, should look like this, where you're keeping your head and chest up, hips nice and open, we're going right down and back up. Okay, now, analysing squats is something people have written whole books on, so I don't, it's not something I'm going to cover completely here. But little techniques that you can use to try and improve your squat. Sometimes it's just a case of bad balance. So you can use something like we use our power cage here in the studio. Anything, any pillar, door, anything like that. Give yourself some support and use it to just get used to the movement without worrying about falling over. So you can keep your head and chest up, sit right down into it, and come back up. Okay, once you're fairly confident with that, and you can do the body weight squat well, another way to do it is then do what we call a goblet squat, where you hold a dumbbell in front of your chest, and then go into the squat, like so. Again, that stops you putting the weight on your shoulders and causing you to tilt forward, and it just helps you do what we call greasing the groove, where you're just practicing the movement and teaching your body the right mechanics and how to get the right muscles firing up. When you are doing the squat, the muscles you need to be thinking about, it's not just about your quads on the front of your legs, you also need to be thinking about your bum muscles as well. So as we go into the squat, I'm coming up and pushing through my heels and squeezing my bum so it's nice and tight when I get up to the top. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a good idea of how to develop your squat. Like I say, there is a lot more to it sometimes. There's certain muscles get too tight. For instance, when you're sitting in your office all day, your hip flexors across here get very tight because you're sat in that kind of position. What that means is as you go into the squat, the muscles pull you forward, and that's why you end up leaning forward too much. So you need to be doing a lot of stretching. For instance, hip flexor stretch like this, stretching out this muscle, and then that will stop you leaning forward so much, and you'll find you can keep your chest up better and get more out of your squat. Okay, the last exercise I want to talk about is the deadlift. Again, another great exercise, whether you're looking to build muscle or burn body fat. Uses a lot of muscles, it's a full body exercise, and you get a lot of work done just on that particular exercise. Again, this is something that's not taught properly in classes like body pump, because it can take a lot of time to get the right mechanics, get the right muscles firing up. What you want to be thinking about when you've got your bar, either bar, kettlebells, dumbbells, whatever you're happening to do the exercise with, think about pushing your hips backwards, okay? So imagine you've got a wall behind you and you're just trying to touch it with your bum. So as we go down, we're pushing back there, keeping the back nice and flat so we get just below knee level, and then we're coming back up, squeezing your bum. Okay, so we're pushing the bum back and coming up. What you need to think about is the bar should be going pretty much straight down and straight back up, so you're not letting it get away from your body. Now, one problem a lot of people get is lower back trouble, and that's two reasons. First of all, they're not keeping, either the core muscles aren't strong enough, or they're just not switching them on properly. And the other thing is they haven't taken the time to get their glutes a lot stronger, get their bum muscles stronger. Like I mentioned in the squat, because you're sat in this position a lot of the time at a desk, these muscles get really tight, but it also means your glutes get overstretched and get weaker and weaker to the point where it's then hard for your body to actually turn them on during exercise. Okay, so addressing the core muscles, when you go into the exercise, I want you to suck some air in very quickly. Imagine you're sucking it up through a straw, and as you do that, you're just bracing your stomach hard. Like I said on the press-ups about being kicked in the stomach, imagine someone's going to punch you in the stomach, so you just tighten up, pull your core muscles in, keep them really tight, and once you've done that, that's when you can go into the deadlift and come back up. Okay, in terms of your glute muscles, a good way to get them working a lot better is A, to be doing the stretches for the hip flexors, because the more open these are, the more you'll be able to do with your bum muscles. But also you want to be practicing bridges on the floor. Different ways to do this. First of all, you can do two-legged, so stamping into the floor and squeezing your bum as hard as you can. The key here is to do it without arching your back. So it's just purely in your bum, back down. So you stamp and squeeze. Okay, so from the side, we're looking to stamp the feet into the floor and squeeze. What I'm not doing is arching my back too much. I'm just stopping as soon as I squeeze my bum as hard as possible. Once you're competent with that, you can then move on to the one-legged variations. So you're going to keep one leg up in the air, you're going to stamp and squeeze. Okay, so like I said, the key there is to really focus on squeezing just with your bum and relaxing your back muscles as much as possible. Now that's something, those kind of exercises which you should be doing before you work out to get them fired up, and also you can do them at home, you know, while you're watching Coronation Street or whatever other rubbish you watch in the evenings. You know, just practice on the floor, stamp, squeeze, and you should find that your deadlifts and your squats will get a lot better because you can start using what is actually one of the biggest muscles in your body. Okay, so we've had a look at press-ups, squats and deadlifts, and hopefully it's given you a good idea how you can improve the movements and be performing them more safely and effectively so you get more out of them. I'm John from Bodyclock Personal Training and StormforceFitness.com. Thank you.